Hello there, wonderful people. I go by the name of Jmsn, and today we are going to start something brand new, something that I want to do every week so I can have consistent content and actually start a valuable career as a YouTuber. It's one of the safest things you can do. It's very lucrative, and the benefits, the pros, definitely outweigh the cons. Anyways, so essentially today, we will start a new thing called End of the Week with your little baby boy, Jmsn. And essentially, what that will consist of will me talking about shit, getting mad, getting sad, getting excited, falling in love with different things, and we'll talk about that kind of stuff. Things that I'm interested in that have gone on during the week. I want to start with something that is very interesting to me because I'm a huge football fan. The first thing that I want to talk about is something that might change the future of sports forever. The future is here, as we have seen with the abundance of Zoom calls that you have to make every day now. Whether it is Skype or Zoom or FaceTime or whatever the fuck you're using, we're now having to broadcast ourselves to other people from our own homes in order to do work. And now that includes the NFL. The NFL consists of professional football players, the National Football League. America's favorite sport. America's biggest sport. It is what it is. And next week, as of April 23rd, they will be conducting the NFL draft for the year 2020. And this is something that happens every single year. You get to see the underdog stories. You get to see your favorite superstars from college go into the league. That is what the draft is. There are 7 rounds of 32 picks. Every team gets a pick. And, of course, those differ because there are trades. They trade those picks. It is essentially like a little lottery system. But instead of you winning money, you are winning players. And it's not a lottery system because you have the NBA. And now I am just confusing you. But every single pick is kind of like a little bit of a lottery ticket. You get to pick what is left on the board. So college football players that you see from last year, if they are eligible, which you have to be out of high school for 3 years, if you are eligible for the NFL, then you go in the draft. You don't just go in to sign in with the team. And it's to help give parity to the league, and ensure that, teams in big cities are not overpowering all the time, right? If players were able to just pick any team that they wanted to go to, the best teams would probably be LA teams in the Bay Area. A team like Dallas. It's a nice city of Dallas. That was unnecessary. And then you have New York, and then maybe, you'd have teams like Seattle and Boston, New England, always still competing a little bit, but it would be a lot harder for teams, let's say, like the Lions, which is Detroit, or Cleveland, which has the Browns. What's another small one? It'd probably be a little bit more difficult for maybe a team like the Chiefs, right, who just won the Super Bowl, to get superstars because of superstars to come out of college to come and join their team willingly. So there is the NFL draft. That was an absolutely horrid explanation of what the NFL draft is, but I think I kind of made my point. I think I kind of got where I was trying to go. So now, this NFL draft used to be a huge event, an annual event where all of the biggest college football players get to be in front of the spotlight. They get to go to whatever city the NFL selects for that year, and it is nationally broadcast. You get to see, it's a lead up to it is a bunch of little mini documentaries put together by some of the top players, and you have underdogs, you have superstars, you have prodigies. It is very entertaining. I enjoy it every single year, and it's fun to follow your team that you like and see essentially who might lead your team for the next couple of years, and it is like a lottery pick. So it is exciting to maybe last year you picked a player and they were shit. right? And you saw that player, and as a fan, you saw them and you bought their jersey and you tried to support them, but it didn't end up good, you know? And then now you have a high draft pick because your team was shit. And then now you get a superstar in the top 5. You get a superstar in the top 10, and you get to see their journey from the second that they enter the NFL into maybe when they retire with your team. And you get to see a story play out in front of you, and it's more than TV. It's more than all the documentaries you see. It's more than the magazines. It's more than the endorsements. You know, you feel a connection with that player from the day they're drafted. And that moment where they get to walk up there and talk with the commissioner, Roger Goodell, where they shake his hand and he congratulates them on joining the league, and you see the excitement of them being a first round pick and potentially a second round pick, which is, you know, a higher draft pick. And that really shows that all of the hard work you've done, you know, and as a little kid, all of the hard work that you did in middle school, all of the hard work that you did in high school, all of the hard work that you did in college, all of that shit paid off as you shake that man's hand and you walk across that stage. And it's a really, really big event. It means a lot to a lot of people, whether you are a fan, whether you are, you know, an organization trying to sell tickets, or you're the player themselves, right? You want to have that experience. You want to be able to be kind of wine and dined. So it really does hurt the fans because you're losing that story. Organizations losing potential theatrics, little dramatic things that might sell some tickets, and then the players are losing an amazing experience. So with this pandemic that is currently going on, the NFL will be moving to a virtual draft. And this will be done over Zoom calls. And now I am particularly excited for something like this because I know something just has to happen, at least one little thing. And that'll be one thing that can give us some entertainment during all this shit, man. I have been sitting at my goddamn house now for a month. And I'm not going to complain about it because it is very important that we do so. But man, I need something more to do. It's gotten to the point now where I'm sitting down willingly reading philosophy. And nothing is wrong with that. If you like to do that, that's just not really a me thing. But yeah, it's gotten to that point where I am almost reading now more than watching, which is, maybe I should stop complaining. That might be a good thing. I would love to keep doing that. But now I'm going off on okay, so rewind back. I find this virtual NFL draft to be interesting from the standpoint of, will it be as interesting? How will all of the technical stuff work? Because when that horse competition came out between, between the NBA players, and you had the horse competition broadcasted on ESPN, it looked horrible. So will they try to send some film crews out to some of the bigger players and have higher quality video, maybe have some more documentary stuff in there to fill in the gaps? Are there going to be technical difficulties from the standpoint of a team can't get their pick in? So now we have to wait 25 minutes because they're having technical difficulties and everybody's backed up. And because of those delays, will more trades potentially happen? There's so many different outcomes from, that point. And then also, man, what if someone hacks some shit and you get some secrets leaked out? Someone now knows your moves, or someone on national TV hacks a Zoom, man. If they're using Zoom, if they're using Skype, if one of those, because you can't use a broadcast team for everybody, right? So even if they might not even be doing that. So if it's all Zoom calls, what if one gets hacked on national TV and shows some shit? That would be crazy. And I'm here all for it. This is the drama. This is the entertainment. This is the unpredictability, an event that we have all been waiting for. We have been deprived of this shit. It may not be sports on the field, but goddamn, it's something in sports nonetheless. And I have been thirsty for just something. Just give me a little. Just give me a little. Just a little. Please. So that is my little discussion and all I wanted to talk about on the NFL draft. I am excited for what is to come for that. And I'm going to talk about my Miami Dolphins. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. I'm going to talk about them for a little bit. I'm really excited, too, to see what they will do. They have 3 picks in the first round. Will they trade up for Joe Burrow and trade away everything for it, which I kind of get and would be cool with, because they always seem to be mediocre enough every single year to always miss out on the highest quarterback prospects. So if I could see them get somebody like Joe Burrow, that would be great. Just because, God, man, I just want some hope with my Dolphins. We haven't had a quarterback since Dan Marino. I wasn't even really alive to see that shit, man. So what will they do? Will they stay in every single slot that they have and just make the best of those picks? That would probably be the smart move. But I don't know. Sometimes that conservative style that the Dolphins have been doing over the years hasn't worked out very well. I don't want to bore you guys with too much Dolphins talk, because not a lot of you guys support them, as you shouldn't. It's been a tough ride. It's been a very tough ride. Next thing I wanted to talk about was kind of just what the fuck is going on? How are you doing? I would like to know some of that down below. If you're making it this far into the video, that means I'm doing something right. So help me out a bit. Show me some comments down below. Let's have a discussion. I want to be able to have some more material, more content, and if I have more things to respond to, that would be great. But seriously, like, I've always been kind of a homebody. It has been nice at some moments where I don't have to go out. I don't have to be around people. I don't have to make a fool of myself. I don't have to go out and risk spending all my money because I have no self-control whatsoever. So I have saved money, but I've also lost money because I'm not working as much. I'm in a position, luckily at work, to where I'm getting at least a little bit of something. It's only 3 hours a day, but I'm still able to work at home. And that's not the case for many people, so I gotta be thankful for that at least. But goddamn, I gotta tell you, it's been a learning experience. I have learned not only a lot about the world and other people, but I have learned a lot about myself. Let me get some water. I have learned that, goddamn, I blow up like a goddamn balloon when I get no exercise and I don't eat well. I've always known I don't have the fastest metabolism. I fucking blow up like a dumpling in a fucking bamboo steamer thing. I just seen that on Mikey Chen. So when I don't have my exercise, when I don't have the ability to just move around, whether it's at work or just go outside for a fucking walk, and I'm just sitting down all day eating nothing but shit, because goddamn, you'd be getting lit as a mug when you're sitting at home all day. It's hard not to. You're not doing shit, so you might as well visit Cloud9 and just say what's up, bro. But seriously, I blow up like a goddamn pufferfish. I swear I've weighed myself, and I know this ain't true, but I feel like I've gained 15 pounds. I've gained 5 since I've been sitting here. And I gotta be honest with you too, man. I don't know how many more times I can beat my goddamn meat, man. I don't know how many more times. Deprived of many things. It's a sad world. But I also want to talk about the psychological part of it. I've realized how dependent I am on certain things. Like my phone, for instance. Any other technology. Video games. And now I've kind of become tired of them. But then you stop and you're so bored and you're like, well, fuck it. What else am I going to do? So I just hope that this kind of living doesn't get myself into a routine where, because I felt like when this fucking sucked, man. Before this all started, I felt like I was getting on a roll. And now is this going to fuck up my routine? And I can't be the only one that feels that way. You know, we all had lives. We had plans almost every second of the day. You know, I know here in Sacramento things aren't like boom, 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 boom like other places. But things move fast nonetheless. Life moves fast. Everything almost seems to be happening all at once, right? We're so focused on the present. We don't really usually think about something like this happening and how it might affect us. We're very unprepared, I think, sometimes mentally in this country. We're so blinded by what we see as incredible achievement. We're so comfortable. We're so safe. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's the goal, right? But I think having a little bit of worry is humbling. It's good to have at least a little paranoia that something like this can happen, something bad. Because people are saying, man, I don't know if it'll ever get normal again, and I agree. But the thing is, too, was what we were doing before, was that normal? Things have changed so much every single year. Everything moves so fast. So can you pinpoint how some things from this last year are normal and they were normal 3 years ago? What things are normal now that were normal 5 years ago? What things that are normal now were normal 10 years ago? It's hard to say. Of course, there's going to be things that are seen as normal, right? There are going to be things that are the same. But what my point is, there's a lot of things that you can say are different. And, you know, I would say we're at the point now where things are changing so fast that we almost have like a new world every 5 years. Our technology changes every day. And because of that, we have to adapt with it too. Business practices, policies, your mental state, your routine, everything changes almost year to year now because of the new things that are implemented every day. So was what we were doing before really normal? I don't know. And do we need to figure out something that's normal? Maybe if that'll keep us going. But I think we're discovering the last couple of years too that normal is absolutely boring. That's what drives our evolution. That's what drives our innovation. That's what drives our technology. That's what drives our future. Is to be different, but not just different, be better. And that never-ending race to be better. We can never have normal, because if we're always improving, if we're always progressing, we can't have normal. And that's philosophy. Right off the top of my head. But, you know, it's something to think about. It is interesting. Because I don't know what is normal, and I don't know what will be normal. I don't know how things will be after this. And it's okay to be worried about it. That's what makes you want to do something. That's what makes you get up. Is when you don't know. This is not the time to be comfortable. Let's change some things. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But let's work together. So tell me down below, man, what you think is going to happen with all this in the next couple of months. And how is it affecting you, your family, your work status? I want to know. Let's have some real discussions. You know, one thing that I really want to talk about, one thing that has been on my mind a little bit is, will stuff like this happen more often? This pandemic, obviously. Well, stuff like this happen more often because of the way that we travel. How easy it is for things to spread, man. Really, like the big events that we have, right? The concerts, the museums, the amusement parks. But then also on the flip side, you would think we've been staying inside a little bit more because of technology. When, maybe that might be true in some cases. But it's not like the population's been the same. As more and more people pop out them motherfucking pussies, the more that people are going to be traveling. It's just a thing to do. And especially, man, when you can, obviously right now flights are real cheap, but there'd be times, during the regular day, show up randomly to the airport, you could pop a deal for maybe a $75 flight across the country. There's deals like that show up. And even if so, like, think about how much harder it was to travel back in the day, which is the best time to travel ever in human existence. Clearly, obviously. We've never been able to travel like this. So, because of that, will things like this spread more often? So that's something to think about. And then, man, I miss a lot of things. It's things I like. You realize now too what you really value. Because before I feel like I have personally taken many things for granted. Whether it is being able to do things like this, right? Like I had just rented out a spot with some of my boys, man, and we can do videos like this, and just being able to have that freedom to make content taken away, that does something. Because like I said before, I was on a groove, and I miss being able to try different foods. Very lucky to be living with my grandma right now, who makes very good food, but at the same time, there's nothing, she can't be making no sushi like the way I want it. She can't be making that authentic taqueria food. She can't make perfect burger. And I can't do those things either. I can go and do those things myself as well, but I like to be diversified with my food palette. I like to eat many things from many different places, and being able to have new experiences, trying those new things, is something that I really miss. And I know it's only been a month, man. It's been a month and a half, man, around that time. So I shouldn't be complaining that much. But it's a big deal. It allows me to clear my head. It's an experience. It's a stress reliever in itself. And that's what we're here for, right? For life, to have new experiences. So you take that away, gets to you a little bit. I wouldn't say I've ever taken, having my friends as for granted, but, I guess being able to see them as often as I do, being able to hang out as much as we do, and the freedom that comes with that, with, with whatever we're doing. I feel like we take that for granted. I feel like I do. Not a lot of people around the world get to, chill and hang out as much as we can. Taken for granted the ability to drive. Man, I miss driving too. Like, it sucks having to fucking travel all the time for work, or it's dropping all like damn near a quarter of my damn paycheck on gas. It's nice not having to worry about that shit. But just the act of driving, it clears my head as well, and that's something that's been taken away. So, I think it's kind of hard to sit sometimes in a box, and people go through this every single day, and it's sad for people who are, innocent, that are having to, do this every day. So, should I be complaining so much? And I wouldn't even really say I'm complaining, but, I'm evaluating myself and how generous life has been. And I think a lot of the time we lose sight of that. So just rambling, talking. This is end of the week with Jmsn, man. We're tired. We got done with work, for the week. I did. So it's been a process. Just trying to get through this and, take this time too. I think it's very important to take the time, now that you have time, to do things. I'm just remembering right now that I didn't do something that I should have already done. We have time to do shit that we have either been procrastinating on, or maybe you're even a little scared to do. Go and do it. You have the time, man. And not only that, but you have the time to take your time to perfect it, to prepare, to practice. You can fuck up. So don't look at this shit so negatively. Don't think about this like, oh man, fuck that bullshit. If you have the ability to relax for a second while this is all going on, which many people don't, and I'm thinking about you all the time, but if you have the time, if you're still able to work from home, and because of that you're working a little bit less, use that extra time you have. Help yourself. And then also too, man, let's get healthier. Going back to how I've been feeling this whole time, man, I've been getting fat as a motherfucker, and it's not a good thing to do during a pandemic. So there's some changes. There's some time now to improve yourself. Don't allow this to slow you down. Don't allow this to stop you from what your end goal might be. Don't let this fuck up the flow. It's just a different route we gotta take right now. We gotta improvise, but keep moving at the same speed. Or maybe go even a little faster, man. You never know what you'll find out about yourself. So if you have the ability to, take this time to learn some things about yourself. You ain't gotta be weird about it. Just do some different things. Stretch. Go for a walk with your dog. Your dog's stuck inside all day too. Your dog's always stuck inside all day. Take the time to go walk your dog. Please wear a mask, wear your gloves, go for a walk. Build that desk that you've been saying you were going to build. Fix the thing in your car you've been saying you've been wanting to fix. Start the podcast. Start the videos that you've always been saying that you want to make. I'm stepping it up right here because it is time. This has awoken me. And it's sad that it takes something like this to awaken me, but it's better late than never, I guess. So take this time. Learn about yourself, man. Don't just sit down and wallow in your thoughts all day, because that's, especially if, you're stuck at home alone, or with, one other person, you're home alone majority of the day. This was just a little end of the week talk. I'll have more stuff to think about and talk about for next week. Please leave a comment below how this is affecting you, man. Please leave a comment below if you stayed this entire time, because that would be amazing. Yeah, that was stupid. If you liked this video, man, to give it a like. If you liked it, might as well. And give it a subscribe. I want to make more of these. But I need to be more consistent. So if you don't subscribe yet, I understand. Coming your way. And let's keep it going, man. Things are going good. Let's keep it positive. I go by the name of Jmsn. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. And don't forget to fucking smile. Just do it for once, you fucking jackass. Thank you. Have a good night.